Well, welcome everyone to our Sunday night coaching with Greg, or coaching with Coach Greg. I'll get that right soon. And I'm so excited to have you join us, those of you who are live and those who will be listening to the recording. And we are, about 3 days out before month-end close here. It's such an exciting time of the year with the holidays and with everything that's going on, and getting ready to celebrate very soon with Debbie Ledour with her new Mercedes RVP celebration with her and her team coming up in December. So very excited about that. So what we are doing with Coaching with Greg is, most of you know, or maybe you don't. We have a lot of people that are new on our team, but Greg has been a fast pitch softball coach for over 30 years, and he started with coaching our daughter when she was about 8 years old, and now she's 38. And so he went on to coach for quite a few years, but as a result of his coaching and the team sports, he is writing a book, and we wanted to share some of those stories from his book that he is writing about, because they're so powerful to how we can apply it not only to our life but to our business as well. And so we have been talking about this for quite some time, and so we decided it would be just a smart idea to do weekly calls through the end of the year to pour into you, because stories really do, people remember stories. So we are going to, Greg's going to go over what the last 2 weeks looked like, a little reference, but this week he's going to be talking about data changes the future. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him so he can take that time. So take it away, Greg.
Okay, so to review, the first week we did the story of Anna, which was basically start swinging. And once Anna started swinging and started adjusting, she developed a very powerful swing that actually changed a game at nationals. And then the second week, last week, we did the story of Shannon, which was start swing with your regular swing. You can't just magically get a good swing by doing seminars or reading books. You have to start somewhere with your regular swing and then adjust. This week, the story is the story of Shelby, and it has to do with data needs to be used to change your future. Shelby took lessons from me for probably 3 years. She started when she was 11. She was 14, and it was time for her to learn an advanced pitch. When I first approached Shannon about learning an advanced pitch called the rise ball, she immediately told me, "I'm not a rise ball pitcher. I can't throw a rise ball." I said, "Shannon, maybe it's that no one has showed you how to throw a rise ball." So what I did was I gave Shannon the footwork and the posture to practice in front of the mirror for a month. I showed her how to grip and spin the ball, and she did that for a month. And then we designated a date that we called the rise ball day. She was going to come in for a normal lesson, but she was going to throw the rise ball. So she gets there, she warms up, and I explained to her before she throws the rise ball for the first time how the system is going to work. She's going to throw the pitch, and after her dad catches it, he's going to point. If he points to his right shoulder, that means the pitch was spinning wrong. That's not good. If he points to his chest, that means the ball was spinning wrong. That's not good. If he points to his left shoulder, that means the ball was spinning right, and that's good. And then from that data, we would make an adjustment. So Shelby steps up, throws her first pitch. Her dad catches it. He points to his right shoulder, meaning the ball's not spinning properly, and throws the ball back to Shelby. And when Shelby catches the ball, she slams her glove on her leg and gives the look at her dad. And I go, "Whoa, Shelby, you need to apologize." Now, the reason I said that is because I didn't allow my players to give the look. I considered it very disrespectful. For the first offense, it was 20 push-ups. For the second offense, it was loss of a one-game suspension. In Shelby's case, now I lost my train of thought.
Okay, in Shelby's case, you were talking about her dad, the way she interpreted what her dad was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When I told her she needed to apologize, she said, "I'm not going to apologize." And I said, "Why not?" And she said, "Because my dad told me I can't throw a pitch." And I said, "Your dad didn't say anything. All your dad did was point to his shoulder. You need to take that data and make an adjustment. Do you know what the adjustment is?" And she says, "No, I don't." And I said, "And that's the problem, Shelby, because you don't know what the adjustment is. You're allowing the data to rest in the past and beat you up. What you need to do is take the data in the past pitch, make an adjustment in the present, and that will change your future." So here's what the adjustment is. If the ball is spinning to the right shoulder, that means your thumb went down and out when you spun it. When you spin it this time, you need your thumb to go down and back. I then tell Shelby before she proceeds, she has to apologize to her dad, which she does kind of half-heartedly, but she does it. And then she sets up, throws the next pitch, and it jumps so much her dad misses it. Clips the top of his glove, clips the top of his head, bangs around in our facility, and then goes into the office area where we keep our computers and our equipment. Her dad goes in to retrieve the ball. When he comes back out, he not only has the ball, he has a catcher's mask on. Shelby looks at me and says, "My dad is so weird." I said, "Shelby, the catcher's mask doesn't mean your dad's weird. Take a look." She looks back at her dad. He's pointing to his left shoulder, which means she threw the pitch right. Then I told Shelby, I said, "Shelby, congratulations. You just threw your first rise ball. What I need you to do is say these words to me. I am a rise ball pitcher." And what was amazing is Shelby at first couldn't say it. But then finally, with tears in her eyes, she said, "I'm a rise ball pitcher." I said, "Shelby, remember this. Anytime you throw a pitch, there's data in that pitch. Don't let the data beat you up. Take the data from the pitch in the past, make an adjustment in your present to change your future." And with that, I'll hand it back over to Linda.
Okay, so applying this to our Arbonne business, I love this because how many times do we create data that isn't true in our head? So a lot of times we'll create stories around things that maybe someone's not responding to an email or to a text message that we sent out, in a timely manner that we think they should. And so we start creating, stories in our head. And so I love this story because we can change that data. We can change that story so that it changes the future. Because if we keep doing the same thing, we know this, that it's called insanity. I mean, we're doing it over and over and over again. And if we want to get better, or if we want to move forward, we're going to have to change the data, whatever that looks like. So sometimes it's conditioned, so much that we don't even recognize it. That we are, creating stories that aren't true. So recognizing that and then flipping it so that we start exchanging that for something that we do want, rather than creating something that way. And I love the I am statement. We talked a lot about that in Green Bay, about what you want to create, or what you want, putting that positive out there. So I am, a rise ball, pitcher, or whatever that is. I am, a people magnet in my business. I am attracting business builders. So whatever, creating that I am statement around that. So, Greg, is there anything else that you can think of, knowing what, Arbonne, I mean, you've watched me in the business for, all of these years, and how you see how this story can apply a little bit better to what Shelby, what she was creating. Can you relate anything to that?
Yeah, I think the best way that it correlates to Arbonne is Shelby didn't know what to adjust because she didn't fully understand the system of success that I use to teach the rise ball. And I had to detail that out a little bit clearer so that she got an understanding of what she needed to do to adjust. And that's a key part in Arbonne, that you need to follow a system that is successful, and then only make adjustments based on that system, not what you feel like or think is supposed to happen. Because when you do that, you're in random, or you don't make an adjustment at all, and then you allow the data in the past to beat you up.
And so in order to have a system, you have to go to the weeks before, about, start swinging the first week, and start swinging, and then start swinging with your regular swing, so we know what to adjust. And then we have data to work with, because you're out there doing the do.
Right. You've got to get started to get the data.
Right.
And you have to start where you are. You're not going to start perfectly. And once you get started, every event that you do goes into the past and it sits there. And you can either let that past beat you up, or you can take it if it didn't work out well, like with Shelby, she didn't throw the pitch right, and make an adjustment in the present to change your future instead of being locked into the same future that you had done in the past.
So what was the result? What was her aha? Did she get it?
Yeah, when I was working with her and I explained to her what the adjustment was, she nodded her head and goes, "Oh yeah, that's right." She didn't know she had done it, but once I pointed it out, she mentioned that she remembered feeling her thumb go out instead of down and back, which places the hand in a different position. And so knowing that, she was able to concentrate on that specific element of her pitch because the rest of it was good. And by concentrating on that specific, she was able to make the adjustment and fix it. And from that point on, it was just a matter of practicing the pitch so that it became more consistent with repetition.
So it could be just a simple little adjustment in your business that could completely change it around, so that you are, what did you call it? The success, getting the
System of success.
Success. And so it may be just a little tweak, an adjustment that's made that completely changes that around. So,
well, one of the other things is I knew from having coached players to throw the pitch in the past how close she was to throwing a rise ball. She just needed to change the spin. All she saw was that she didn't throw the rise ball, and because she had never done it before, she didn't know how close she was. And so by making one simple adjustment, everything else was good, and then the pitch came together, and then she was able to throw a rise ball. But then it still took her a little bit of encouragement to acknowledge the fact that I just threw a rise ball and I'm a rise ball pitcher, because the adjustment had completely changed not only the pitch, but the type of pitcher she would be.
So how many times are we beating ourselves up, really needlessly, because it may be just a little, adjustment here or there that needs to happen in order to completely flip things around and get a different perspective. I think of the book 3 Feet from Gold. It's just right there, but we don't recognize it. So that's so powerful. So so tell us what is coming in the next week, because each of these stories build on each other. So what are we building to for next week?
Next week we're dealing with whether to change, what to change, and what to change to. And the story is the story of Scout. And basically it deals with the fact that you should make your adjustments based on a system that is a system of success. Because if you're making adjustments randomly, you're probably going to be in random, and you're going to be moving away from a system of success. So your adjustments have to be based on a system that in the past has proven itself successful. And that's what the story of Scout teaches next week.
Okay. And so if anybody has any questions, needs more clarity or has a comment, you can go ahead and ask that in the Q&A or the chat, or on the thread after the recording is posted on Massive Momentum page. But my hope is that through these stories that you can start thinking about, maybe what's not working, what is working and what's not working in your business, and what can we adjust that may be just a little, tweak that can make a difference in the success, in the system of success, moving you forward in your business. Because a lot of times, and I love these stories because so many of the stories, it's just a little thing that they change, and they're off and running, and they start seeing the results, and it's so freeing, you see the light bulbs come on in behind people's eyes, and that again is so rewarding. And so, all of us on here are coaches for our teams, and how can we be better coaches for ourselves through understanding these stories a little bit more, but also being able to help our team adjust just a little bit in order to start seeing more success, because they may be spinning their wheels, or you may be spinning your wheels in one area thinking there's something wrong with you, but there's nothing wrong with you. It may be just a simple little adjustment. So I'm hoping Greg and I both hope that these stories resonate, and maybe can help be the thing that can move you forward. So thank you all for joining us tonight, and these are short and sweet, but thank you for getting on. We appreciate it. I will go ahead and post this on the Nation page, and if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Greg's got lots of information stored over all of those years, and the power of team in sports. So stay tuned each week, because each one of them builds on the other. So let's have an incredible close this week. I know we will. We still have 3 strong days left. So let's make it happen. Thank you all for getting on tonight. Good night. Thanks, Greg.
Bye.
Bye.